Hi everyone, welcome to my second tutorial on this blue half cut crease look. Today I want to show you how to wear colour with confidence and make it a lot more wearable. So to start off with, I am carving out the brows with the P. Louise base in room 02. I've already done my skincare off camera. If you'd like more details of what I use and how to do it, please check out my first video, which is the bridal look. So for this I use a Bare Essentials brush, which is just their concealer brush. It's absolutely amazing. I use this in absolutely every makeup look that I do. It's great for cutting out the crease, great for carving out brows because it's got a really great flat edge. It's also really good for putting on base and applying concealer as well. So once I've got a nice straight line underneath the brow, I'm going to pick up the excess product and pat that in with the brush. I'm wanting a nice full coverage look, particularly because we're going to be using a lot of colour. After I've done this, I'm going to switch over to a fluffy brush just to make sure that it's all blended seamlessly and that the edges blend out for when I put foundation on. So to make the colour more wearable, I'm going to start out with some neutral shades. So these are from Makeup Geek. I have these in a Z palette, so the eyeshadows are singular, they're magnetic, so it means you can make your own palette, which is really great for travel. So I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, which just comes in their eyeshadow palettes. This one's from the Modern Renaissance palette. I'm using the Makeup Geek shade Americano, which is a nice deep purpley toned brown, and I'm stamping that in small packing motions in a C shape in the outer section and into the crease. I draw this a little bit higher than my crease because I have a hooded shape. So I'm stamping on the shape. Don't worry too much about the blending at this stage, it's more so about packing that colour on. Then with an Inglot 10S brush, which is just a long thin fluffy brush, I'm picking up the shade Cocoa Bear, which is a nice rich red toned warm brown, and I'm just grazing the edge of what we just did. So you lie your brush on 50% off and 50% on of that product that we first applied, and in small circular and windshield wiping motions we're just going to blow that out. Next, with a MAC 217 brush, I'm picking up the shade Tan Lines, which is a nice medium tan brown, and I'm grazing over those edges again in windshield wiper and circular motions. This is just going to give you a nice gradient effect and start building up the colours. So to further blend out this look and to give a really seamless effect, I'm picking up a large fluffy brush, which is a Morphe M441, and the bronzer that I'm using today, which is just from MAC, and it's Give Me Sun. And I'm just grazing over the edges of that, really blowing that out and making that a lot more seamless. So adding bronzer is a really great trick to help it blend into the rest of your makeup. So once I've done that, I'm going to re-intensify that dark shade, just because it can get a little bit lost when you've done all that blending. It also really helps your cut crease stand out when you've got a nice dark shade. So going back in with that flat concealer brush and the Peel Away's base, I'm going to start to cut the crease. I'm doing a half cut crease today, so I start from the inner corner. You want to do this in small stamping motions, really nice and slowly, just look down into a mirror. Also a top tip for cut creases is to start lower, because you can always take the product higher and it leaves a lot more room for any mistakes. So with the cut crease, keep looking straight ahead into a mirror to make sure that when your eyes are open you can actually see the shape as well. I'll then blend the edge of this just back with that first eyeshadow shade. Then because I want this to be quite a colourful look, I'm going in with the Inglot eyeshadow in the shade 237, which is just a nice aqua blue colour, and a flat shaded brush. I believe this brush is just from a Ted Baker set. So I'm packing this colour on because the pigment that I'm using today is more so iridescent with a reflect, so I want to make sure that the colour is nice and vibrant underneath. So once I've blended those edges out, I'm taking my NYX glitter glue and back in with that brush, which I've just cleaned out on a makeup wipe. I'm just going to put this base right over that blue shade. So I'm now going to apply a Peaches pigment in the shade Mermaids. This is a gorgeous iridescent colour. In the pot it looks white, but it does have a blue shift. It's really, really reflective and it looks so nice over that blue base. Once again, I'll just blend over those edges and make sure that it's got a nice smooth transition between the two. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liner on. Today I'm using a Rimmel liner. It's just a nice liquid liner with a felt tip. I'm applying a very thin line at the lash line. It's just to help blend your lashes in, and it also really helps the lash line stand out against that bright blue. Then picking up a little bit of black shadow. This one is also from Makeup Geek in the shade Corrupt. I'm just taking a little smudger brush and smudging that out so it's nice and smoky and not a really harsh and definitive line. Popping on a little bit of Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I'm then going to go in with the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter in Glam Rock. Just going a bit over that blue just to give a little bit more of a 3D look and a bit more sparkle. I'm then going in with the Yasmay lashes in the style Milan. They're really, really fluffy and wispy and quite a dramatic lash, but I think you can carry off a dramatic lash when you've got quite a bold colour. So I'm popping that on with a pair of tweezers, and the glue I use for that is from Duo, and it's the latex free brush on glue. So now it's time to start on the face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This I use in the centre of the face to cover any pores and also help with oil control. It's a lovely smoothing primer. Then I'm going to go in with Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, which is honestly like super glue for your foundation. The foundation I'm going to use today is from Maybelline, and it's the Superstay 24-Hour Foundation in the shade Warm Beige. This is honestly an amazing drugstore foundation. It has such good coverage, and I feel like for this look you want quite full coverage when you're going with such a bold eye. You can dilute this down if you'd like it to be a little bit thinner, but for me I'm going to pack it on with a beauty blender to make sure that it's nice and seamless. Then I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Tan Tour in the shade Light, and I'm doing this with a Real Techniques face brush. I'm sculpting out the cheekbones, so just following the hollow. I'm also adding this around the perimeters of the face, so just underneath the jaw, around the hairline, on the nose, so where the sun would hit, and also where you would like to add a bit of a shadow. For me, I'm going in with quite a heavy contour for this look, just because I feel like you need a bit of a bigger base with having such a bold eye. And you want to make sure that you're blending out the edges with your beauty blender as well. I also must say, please excuse the hair in this video, as I'm sure you all know, isolation is doing things to me hair. I need my roots doing. They're absolutely desperate, but please just bear with us. So cream contouring is such an important step for me. One, because I feel like it looks a lot more natural than powder contouring because it blends in with the foundation and just into that skin a little bit more. It also means that you're not using so many powders so that you don't look cakey. So now I'm picking up a couple of concealers using the shade Fair from Collection Perfection to highlight, and also the shade 6 from Makeup Revolution. I'm popping this underneath the eyes to brighten and on the high points of the face, so anything that I want to pull forward. So this should also help really bring shape back to the face. Then going in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, I'm setting underneath the eyes to make sure that there's no creasing, and also setting around the T-zone as well, just anywhere that you might get oily. It also provides a really airbrush finish. So for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm patting that essentially over where we cream contoured, just to add a bit more warmth to the face and a bit more of a sun-kissed look. So this is an old Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm using the shade Rosé Sprit, which is just a lovely pink shimmery blush. Popping that on the apples of the cheeks, a little bit over the nose. It really helps to bring out the blue. Then I'm setting the face over with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. After this, I'm going to pop on some highlight. Putting the setting spray on first just means it gives it something to grip to and it makes it pop even more. I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush to apply this, and this is from Doll Beauty, and it's the Shine Bright Highlighter Duo. I do this on the high points of the cheeks and high points of the face. I'm a real fan of highlighters, so I put it pretty much everywhere. I'll also pick this up on a pencil brush and pop it in the inner corner to brighten and open the eyes up. Then I'm going to use an Estee Lauder black eyeliner pencil in the waterline just to really add some definition to the eyes. Using a flat definer brush, I'm going to go back into that shade Americano, which is the dark brown, and smudge that underneath the lower lash line. I'll then go between this brush and that little round brush, and I'm going to go back through all of the brown colours that I used from darkest to lightest. What this is going to do is really help make that blue a lot more wearable because you're putting a lot more browns in. So once that's all blended out, I am going to add a touch of black shadow just at the outer corner as well. It's just going to give the eyes a lot more definition. So time for brows, I'm going to use the Rimmel Brow Mascara in the shade Brown, just to comb up the brow hairs, give them a little bit more definition, and it also makes you look like you have a lot more than what you actually do, which I definitely need. Then I'm going in with the Ardell Microblade Brow Pencil. This is something new that I've recently purchased, and honestly it's such a great dupe for something like the Benefit Precisely My Brow. The tip of this is so fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do light flicking motions to mimic hair-like strokes and fill that into the desired effect. I also do keep using the spoolie on the other side of this to brush through the brows, as it really helps to blend out the product. Then I'm going in with my all-time favourite lip liner, which is from Peaches and Cream. This is in the shade Praline, which is a gorgeous warm-toned nude brown. The formula of these lip liners is honestly beautiful because they're pigmented, they're creamy, but they're also not too creamy, so they don't bleed out into the lip line. So it's really great for overdrawing if you need to do that. I'm just filling in the line of the lips, and then I'm going to fill in the entirety of the lips as my base shade. Then using one of my favourite glosses, which is also from Peaches and Cream, in the shade Melrose, which is a gorgeous rosy toned brown, and I think it complements this eye look really well. And this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and comment down below.